Okay, friends, you seen I was making the noodles. So now I'm going to put just about a good tablespoon. You can use butter if you want. I'm going to use olive oil. I'm going to turn my burner on medium high. I'm going to let that olive oil get warm because we're going to make a beautiful macaroni and cheese soup with vegetables. Now with my vegetables here, I've got onions, I've got green peppers, I've got carrots and celery. That's what I'm putting in there. And then in the end, when it's just about done, I'm going to add a nice little bunch of fresh broccoli. So we'll set that aside. So we're going to get this pan hot. When this pan gets hot, I'll be right back. Friends, I am back and our pan is getting hot. So I'm going to put the onions down in there and you can hear it sizzle. I'm going to put the onions in there and the celery. I just don't want it all over the place. I'm going to put everything in here. And my peppers. Now I'm going to saute those for a little bit. You know, anytime you saute your vegetables first, they turn out fantastic. You're going for a ride. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in here. Put some fresh cracked pepper in here. And a little bit of salt. And that should be good. I'm also going to put about a good teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic in here. Okay. Get this mixed up. And we're going to saute this for about 3 to 5 minutes. So let me saute this up, and when it's set, I'll be back. Okay, friends. This is sauteing up beautiful. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in about 2 good tablespoons of flour. And I'm going to let that cook up a little bit with it. Okay? Before we add our liquids to it. Just let that cook around. Now don't worry about the bottom of the pan. I mean, you don't want to burn it, but certainly don't worry too much if it gets dry or... because you're just going to cook this flour flavor out of it just for a few minutes. Not long at all. And then when we put all our liquids in this pan, it's going to deglaze. It's going to take all those yummies that are stuck to the bottom of that pan. It's going to bring it right up into the soup. It's going to be wonderful. Okay, so we got that sauteed a little. Now we're going to take and we're going to pour our broth in here. I got 1 quart of chicken broth. I'm going to pour 2 in here, but I'm starting with 1. And you can feel as you stir it, the bits coming up off the bottom and it's getting smooth. My heavens, you don't have to crawl, you can walk. My grandchildren are here. Okay, I'm going to put the other quart in here. And then with that, it's beautiful, yeah. With that, I'm going to put about 2 cups of milk in here. So about half of this container. There we go. Okay. So now, I'm going to add a little bit of mustard powder, about a half a teaspoon. You can stand right there and stir it for me. And put that mustard powder in there.
Mom, what is this yellow?
Oh, that's just painted. That's my fancy wooden spoons. Okay, let me stir this up. Now, we got that all in there. So we're just going to let that cook down a little bit. We're going to let that cook down a little bit, and then we will be back. Okay, friends. This is going to come up to a boil. And when it does, I'm just going to turn it back down and let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes till everything gets nice and tender in there. So at that point in time, I'll be back and I'll show you how to finish up this beautiful soup. Okay, friends. Now I'm going to add about 2 good tablespoons of Parmesan cheese and my broccoli. And I'm going to turn this down on low. Give that a good mix. And I'm just going to let that cook until the broccoli, I like mine tender crisp. So that's going to take about 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes I'll be back and I will show you how to finish up this soup. The broccoli is nice and tender crisp. So I turned the heat off and I let it stop boiling. So now I'm going to add my cheese. And I'm going to add a good couple handfuls at a time. Just so it melts and gets wonderful. All right. Okay. All right, so there we have it. Let that cheese melt. You gotta have all this cheese melt before you put your macaroni in, because those are cold and it's gonna cool this soup down. So just keep mixing it until it's all melted. That's wonderful. Now really, before I put that in, there's a good time to give it a taste. Make sure you don't need any extra pepper or salt or anything else. That's really good, but it could use a little more pepper. Well, you know, because our family loves pepper, so. All right. Okay, and I see all my cheese is now melted. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my macaroni here a little bit at a time. And get it mixed up real nice. And this was 12 ounces of macaroni and cheese, or macaroni. Okay. Mix that up. Doesn't that look fantastic? All right, a moment of truth. See how this tastes. Beautiful. I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on the top of it for a garnish. And look at how beautiful that is, friends. That turns out absolutely wonderful. So there you have it. Give that a try. It's fantastic. Thanks for watching.